It's Cobra Rhodes.
I am ready to arm wrestle now. Can I arm wrestle now?
By 2016, Krasimir would face one of his most formidable opponents yet, in the now undisputed number one of the world, Devon Saginashvili. The two met during a match in the European Championships, and it was clear that Georgian Holak was, even then, already much larger than Krasimir. Nevertheless, the athlete slipped, and Krasi stopped Levon in the straps on the inside. From there, he worked on Levon in typical Kostadinov fashion, and fouled him out twice for the win. Jeff Dape has the biggest hands in arm wrestling. A heavy machine operator from Minnesota, Jeff was born with severely enlarged limbs, but was never diagnosed with any medical condition that could be responsible. Jeff peaked during his arm wrestling career at a relatively high level in North America, winning state as well as national titles. From interviews, it quickly becomes clear that arm wrestling was never a true priority for him. However, he does hold this illustrious title. Who's that arm wrestler? It's Cobra Rhodes.
I am ready to arm wrestle now. Can I arm wrestle now?
Who's that arm wrestler? It's
Vitaly Laletin.
You talk a lot. I'm ready right now.
Me and Dave Chafee, let's go. The clear reality is Dave's gonna wipe me, but I might actually win this poll. You never know.
Yeah, that's true. That's you also got voted in, right? With all these people, so
Exactly. The fact that I'm in the top.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. How you all doing out there in the arm wrestling world? Welcome to Arm Historian Live. As always, with predictions for the next East versus West event. It's got to be a special one. Special collaborative edition with Brian Shaw's Strongman event, of course. Let's get some music going first of all. Let me get some music going for you guys. And for myself, of course. So the event is on a Friday, the Drew. Sorry, I should have set the music up beforehand, but it'll be here in just a few seconds. Need to make sure I'm using the stream safe playlist. There we go. There we go. Should be fine. Let's see who's in chat on this blessed Sunday. Owlboy, how you doing? The Drew, what's up? Craig, not gonna lie, I'm a bit upset the pay-per-view is on a Friday. Yeah, that is a quite weird decision there. Chuck, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Craig says it's midday for me. Let's take a look at the East versus West page. I'll let you guys watch along with me. Get rid of the poll on screen right now. Tony Rizzo, how you doing? Chuck says, I don't know if you remembered, but we talked about me joining in. I forgot and only remembered when I saw your live stream set up. I almost went to bed. Hey, no worries, Chuck. You can join a little later. I might throw it open for viewers, for everyone. Yeah, but I'm gonna try to keep it a little structured too. In as far as I can do that today. I've got some clips lined up I can play of the athletes and stuff like that. But yeah, you can join in. But no pressure though, dude. Yeah, Tony Rizzo, thanks for reminding the people to hit the like button. Gets us out to a couple more people there. So yeah, let's get right into it. I say we jump right into the matches here. The event is on August the 15th, which means it is a Friday. So yeah, that is different from what we're used to. I'm guessing that has something to do with the fact that the event is at Brian's event. Like the fact that East versus West is at Brian Shaw's event. It was probably already planned on that day. That's what I'm guessing. There we go. So yeah, let's jump right into it. I'll start with the one on the bottom, which is, I believe, Laurence Shawley's match. Yes, versus Martins Lichis. Now I will be starting a poll here just to get an idea of where you guys are at. And then we'll get right into it. I see the current poll with did you buy the pay-per-view? 40% of you did buy the pay-per-view, 27% of you didn't, and 33% of you hasn't bought it yet, but is going to. That's awesome. Drew says before the strongman event. Yes, that's very interesting. So they're doing all the matches before the actual strongman event. I wonder how long the actual arm wrestling event, East versus West itself, will be. Probably shorter, right? Just because there are less matches, but also because they want to have enough time for the strongman event, is what I'm guessing. Greg said, I bought it, but probably not going to be able to watch it. Okay, so you'll watch it afterwards. I saw a lot of people complaining last time about not being able to watch the replay and stuff, so I hope you'll be able to watch it soon after it comes out there, Craig. Unless I sneak away from work at lunch break. Yeah, that is an unfortunate time. Now that you mention it, let me check what time that is for me, actually. 11 hours. Yeah, I checked on this before. It's in the morning. But I always thought it would be Saturday, so it's gonna be in the morning on a Friday. Damn. Yeah, I see. I might do a live stream during the event. Kinda depends on work and stuff. How much I have to do. But I might. Okay, let's start the poll for the first match. 10 matches. Yes, I believe so. Let me count really quickly. Yeah, 10 matches if you count Devon and Kurdecha as 2 matches, which, you know, would make sense if you did. So, who do you have between Laurence and Martins? So I think on experience, I'm gonna have to give it to Laurence here, because I think he has way more experience arm wrestling, if I'm not mistaken. He's done a couple of arm wars matches, I think, and he's been pretty active in the scene for a little while now. And then Martins, I've seen him do a couple of collaborations with arm wrestlers, so I think he got around a little. So I'm get on the table, I think, with Juji Mufu and someone else. But yeah, my memory on that is a little hazy. But he has arm wrestled before. Now, I don't think to any great extent, so just on pure technical ability, you'd have to give the edge to Laurence here, right? They're both big guys. I think Laurence lost a lot of weight compared to when he was still really active in Strongman. But yeah, I do think he'll have the edge over Martins if you ask me, but Some people, it looks like chat is disagreeing to a certain extent. About half of you think Martins does have this, a little over half of you actually. The Drew says Loss should win. Yeah, he should, right? Chuck says Martins is great, but experience is heavily on Loss side. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling here. Out of Tune says Loss because Martins burned himself out last week with his competition. Out of Tune also says the strongman events are always on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so it makes sense that they're doing it on a Friday. I wonder if it will influence their pay-per-view numbers at all, just because people have gotten kind of used to it being on a Saturday. So does that mean they're doing the press conference earlier too, like on a Thursday? It should say it here somewhere, right? Usually they say it here. The press conference will be live at the same time on the day before, on Thursday, August 14th, 2025. On the YouTube channel of East vs. West Arm Wrestling. There you go. So yeah, press conference, for those that don't know, is on Thursday this time. Yeah, same time as the event would go live the day afterwards. I wonder, yeah, I'm looking forward to that more than anything. I mentioned it in the last live stream. Like, even more than the matches, I'm looking forward to actually looking what they're doing with the production of the actual event. Like, what is their setup like? What are their cameras like? Their sound? How are they like structuring the press conference? The face-offs, stuff like that. I'm very curious to how they're doing that. If it's all like largely the same because it's the team of Baxter and co running stuff, or is it gonna be way different because Brian's team has a large hand in kind of coordinating with them or organizing it even? We'll have to wait and see, but that's something I'm personally very interested in. I think it can tell us a lot about how possible future events would go without the involvement of other people. So Martins competed last week, says Out of Tune here. I said he underestimated the strain it would put on his arm. I don't think he asked any real arm wrestler if he should do it or not, because anyone who's ever arm wrestled will pretty much say no, don't don't go so hard like a week or 2 weeks before you're entering a super match or an event at all. Press conference will be on Thursday indeed. Chrome Woods, how you doing? Says, I thought this will be the Talk Classic, but it's still East versus West. What did I get wrong? So yeah, it is pretty convoluted, and I understand that it's confusing. It was to me too, and still to a degree is. But Brian Shaw, before the whole like East and West rift happened, and Engin kind of walked away together with a lot of Eastern pullers and all that drama, before that all happened, Brian Shaw was already putting on an arm wrestling event at his strongman event. And I think he was calling it Strongest Arm on Earth. You can still see the logos of it present on the poster here, on the athlete's t-shirt, etc. So that's what he was going to do. And then the whole East versus West event that was close to this event, I think it was supposed to be in a couple of weeks, kind of fell apart due to the drama. And Brian Shaw stepped in and said, you know what, let's just do East versus West at my strongman event. We'll use the venue and stuff like that, and we'll do it there, and combine it with the card he already had set up for the Strongest Arm on Earth. So that's basically what happened. He combined both events and stepped in to kind of let East versus West still go ahead. Hey Atlantis, how you doing, man? Good to see you, good to see you. Potassium says Loss was gonna kill him. Either way, I think. I would expect so. Pretty much only Devon can pull a week before his own super match and be okay, says the Drew, yeah. Probably there's other people too. If you've got like decades of experience, you can probably do that if you kind of know where you have to put your limits. I mean, I think still working out to some degree isn't necessarily a bad thing. There's certain schools of arm wrestling that swear by training up until the match or up until the event you're gonna enter. It's just, yeah, for me personally, it hasn't worked out that well. I usually stop with the table time about 2 to 3 weeks before any event. Out of tune says Martins went full out on the table, pulling like it was his last day on Earth. Love the guy. Yeah, that is quite endearing, and I'm happy he's seemingly enjoying arm wrestling, it seems. Yeah, happy about that. It goes for all these strongmen guys. I talked about it before. I really think we've got an opportunity here to get some crossover action going with spectators of strongman events, for sure. Atlantis says this match is still happening, right? At the Shaw Classic. Yeah, I think this match is still happening. I don't know why it wouldn't. Where did Martins pull right now? I don't know where he pulled, but like recently, the event Out of Tune was referring to. I don't know where that was. We can take a quick look at his YouTube channel, maybe. Maybe it's on there, or his Instagram. Let me pull it up here. I think that's a good thing to get into when we're doing these predictions. We've done it before, but just take a quick look at the competitors' social media. Get kind of an idea where they're at, right? So let's take a look at Martin's social media here. Seems like he's still doing all kinds of stuff like he always did. Here he is. Okay. Okay, so he says, I undoubtedly have a lot to learn in this sport, but it has been an amazing and eye-opening experience getting started. My arms are beat to all hell, but I'm recovering fast. Can't wait for the Shaw Classic and learn a thing or two from Big Loss. Thank you to whoever for keeping my hormonal, metabolic, and etc. etc. So yeah, this was 2 days ago that he posted this. Arm Wars, good job. First time I've seen a tap out. Moving very well. Let's take a look at the actual matches here. It seems like he's winning most of them, as far as I can tell. It's just one match. I'm like looking, oh yeah, he's winning most of them. It's just one match. Okay, go on. The Erection Specialist. That's a nice t-shirt. Yeah, he's moving well. Maybe people are basing it off this footage because, yeah, not great, but yeah, not bad, not bad. Little awkward with his legs there, but yeah, not bad at all. Looking pretty good. See if we got some other footage. Yeah, this is the same tournament, it seems. I'm not gonna lie, this sport freaking hurts when you're a newbie. My arms just perpetually feel like they have knives being jabbed into them. So my practice has been minimal. To gold for super heavyweight left and right at the Anaheim Fitness Expo and met a bunch of amazing people. So okay, he took gold for super heavyweight left and right at a fitness expo organized by the UAL, it seems. I'm guessing in the amateurs, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's just the seniors, could be. I know UAL doesn't always attract the very biggest talent in North America, but usually they're pretty good. So yeah, good on him. It seems like he's enjoying it. I hope it's not just a flash in the pan and he actually sticks with it. But yeah, kind of boosted my numbers on him, being honest here. Let's see Laurence Chalet, big loss. How's he moving on the table recently? Any footage? Not too much. He's looking very ripped though. Very in shape. But yeah, not too much footage that I can see. Yeah, it looks like it out of tune. He's been pulling quite a bit. Michael Workspace says Devon releasing the petition just showed the disregards and undermining he has for the current owners. Clearly, Robert and Dexter is trying to fix things with the Eastern athletes, and this isn't helping. Yeah, there's a lot of drama going on there. I've contemplated making a video on it, and I might still do it, but yeah, I kind of want to make a decent video on it and not just regurgitate what's out there 10 times over. But yeah, I appreciate your opinion on it, Michael Workspace. Direction specialist, yeah. Looking forward to compete in the UAL in the future, says the Fearless Spectrum. How you doing, the Fearless Spectrum? Seen your stuff on Instagram, of course. I hope you're improving well, my dude. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe Martins has a bigger chance than I think, but I'll still stick with Laurence for the time being. And I see the poll, yeah, has some very similar thoughts there with, let's take a look here. 55% of you thinking Laurence will take this match, which, yeah, very divided. Very evenly split here, I would say. So, might have the makings of an actual good match. Can you imagine that? Would be nice. I'm getting more hype for this match as time goes by, so that's good. Let's take a look at the next one, our only female match of the night. With Gabby Vasconcelos versus Joseline Brisson or Brisson. Yeah, I think Joseline is filling in for somebody, right? Wasn't Gabby supposed to face someone else here? And then Joseline had to jump in, fill in for that person? Correct me if I'm wrong while I set up the poll here for you guys. Who do you have? Is it Gabriella? Or is it Joseline? I really enjoyed Joseline Brisson pulling, says Chuck. Yeah, me too. Calvin Jones says Sarah. Yes, it was Sarah, Calvin Jones. Thank you for that. It was indeed Sarah Backman that was supposed to pull against Gabby, I think. For the umpteenth time. I'm quite happy it's going to be Joseline, although I might have a really hard time beating Gabby. I think a lot of people going into this with Gabby to win. I think that's the smart choice to make here, right? Let's take a look at Joseline. See if we can find her on Instagram here. See what she's been up to. How her training's been going. I'll give her a follow. Yeah, she's been posting some stuff here. This girl's deep into arm wrestling, it seems like. How long has she been pulling now? 3 years or something, I think. But she's really also into grip sport. Okay. That's interesting. Right, a grip strength competition, it said. Yeah, a lot of lifts. Of course, not that much arm wrestling footage. Seems like she's kind of either obscuring her training a bit or just isn't filming that much of it for one reason or another. But yeah, seems to be doing quite well and seems to be enjoying arm wrestling, which is all we can ask, right? I'm just happy the female super heavyweight division is kind of shaken up a little bit here. This match, I don't mind. I like it. I'm happy we are getting a female match. Always nice to see Gabby pulling. I just hope this evolves into like Joseline giving Barbora a real run for her money before long. Because there's always this risk, right, of someone coming up and beating someone high up in the rankings out of nowhere. and then just being thrown to the lions, like versus Egle. And you just burn out on the sport before you really even get started properly. Happened with people before, can happen with Joseline too, but I'm hopeful it won't. Hopefully it won't. Atlantis says, damn, she's a tall drink of water. She might actually be a match for Barboza. I'm guessing you mean Barbora there, yeah. Might be, someday. I don't think right now, but yeah. I think we could get more female matches, says Chuck. Yeah, I agree. Egle match was brutal and it looked like she didn't get in her spot indeed. Indeed. Yeah, I think the hand control and stuff might be difficult, although Gabby isn't necessarily known for like super good hand control or like super big hands, so yeah, I don't know. She might just throw it inside and pin Joseline quickly. Yeah, Joseline is getting thrown to the wolves indeed, Chuck. Difficult to vote against Gabriella, says Craig. Yeah, I hear ya. Right now, Gabby is leading with 85% of the vote. That does mean that a small minority of you guys think Joseline can take it. By the way, if you don't know where to vote, just go to the chat box if you're on desktop or on mobile and just open the chat box up and there should be a pop-up with the poll there. From there is just one tap on who you think would win. More people will get voting, the more representative it is for like the community at large, or at least the ARM historian community. Chuck says, I love watching Ayane, Fia, Caroline, Joseline, and Gabby. Yeah, those are all really good pullers. I'd love to see more of Ayane. I kind of dislike how her whole East versus West story ended so far. There was some disagreements there and a little bit of bad blood, so very unfortunate because she's one of my favorite, especially recent female pullers. But it seems, I think we can end this poll before long. Gabby seems to be the clear winner here. I don't think we really need to look at her Instagram page, although I will. Yeah, I will. Just for clarity's sake, I think she's just in a permanent good condition, right? I mean, it's Gabriella Vasconcelos, you know. Not a lot more to know about her. Really good puller. One of the best, if not the best, female puller ever. At least I think the most accomplished female puller, the most celebrated female puller, as far as medals and stuff like that goes. So, yeah, not a lot more to say about Gabby here. I think she has it in the bag, but I'd love to be surprised on that end. Like I said, I'd love for Joseline to do really well here. It seems like 90% of you think Gabriella will take this. So yeah, there you go. Kind of mimics what I've been saying, right? Makes sense to me. Jacobin says, a lot of good ladies indeed. There are a lot of good arm wrestling ladies out there. Morkish says, I think Joseline is a beauty. More power to you, man. Yeah, more power to you, man. Next match. So I think his name is pronounced Cire, right? Is that correct? I heard it on the Fix, I think he was on, if I'm not mistaken. It's Cire Brown, right? I've been saying Cire or something like that. But I think it's Cire. Correct me if I'm wrong here, chat, but Cire Brown versus Derek Smith is our next match. Chuck says, I have mixed feelings about this match. Out of News says, Gabby is a great ambassador for the sport. I agree, she's really friendly, really kind. Love me some Gabby Vasconcelos. But on this match, who do you guys have? I'll ask, I'll start the poll right now. Who do you have? Is it Cire Brown? Relative newcomer to the sport as well as to East versus West. I've learned a bit about this guy from a podcast I saw with him in it. Yeah, seems to be really like glued to the sport, seems to want to get better really quickly and is doing so. has only been in the sport for a short time, I believe a couple of years maybe, if I'm not mistaken, like 3 years or something like that. Might be a little longer, but I'm sure someone will correct me in chat. But yeah, looking to be really good, training with Brian Shaw. Let's take a look at what Cire has been up to here. Cire Brown. If we can find him, yeah, there he is. I'll give Cire a follow here. Going on him. Let's take a look. Hasn't been posting that much about arm wrestling recently, although here he is, it seems. Wyoming Open. A little fun in Burns, Wyoming, he said. Went to support the team and decided to pull. With a very strong AJ Henson left. Couldn't make Arizona State happen due to family things. But Burns is an hour away. He also had an amazing time, etc, etc. So yeah, it seems like he's getting his kids involved into the sport. So yeah, the guy is heavily invested, it seems. I haven't started the poll, my apologies. I'll do that now. So yeah, the guy seems to be invested in arm wrestling. Jacoby says, let's go, Derek. Chuck says, we are going to get 2 matches with Derek Smith of the East. Talking about Alex Kurdecha there, yeah. I've made that comparison a couple of times. Quick drink there. Spinner says, I would like Cire to win, but Smith is a slight favorite. Yeah, I think Derek Smith is a favorite, although, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit unpredictable. I feel like Derek Smith's shape is so unpredictable to me. I don't know. And Cire is looking strong and good, actually. Yeah, I'm just looking at the match here. Seems to be comfortably holding the guy. Damn. Yeah, so, I don't know, man. I think Derek Smith, this might be like a pivotal moment in Derek Smith's career. And I hope, I really hope, the pressure isn't getting to him. Because it would probably get to me, if I'm being honest. It's like a really pivotal moment, you know? Derek Smith is like known as the guy who's suffered multiple losses at East versus West and like very decisive losses. And who, like a guy who doesn't always deliver on his frame and his experience. After that many years in the sport and being a coach and having an entire arm wrestling team and having such a big and massive frame and being dedicated and involved in the community, I feel like some people still have the feeling that he's underperforming in the sport of arm wrestling, you know what I mean? So I think for Derek, this is like a... It needs to happen, man. You need to win this match. And then a couple of other ones following this with like more experienced pullers, but it needs to happen. You can't lose this match. I think that's probably what he's feeling right now. That's what I would be feeling if I was in his place. So yeah, I sincerely hope the pressure isn't getting to Derek at all. He doesn't underestimate Cire and takes this match very seriously. I hope so. We know Derek can pull. We know Derek's strong. He's very capable of winning this match. I'm sure of it. But yeah, he just needs to do it, man. And do it in convincing fashion if he can. The compound arm wrestling here says gonna be the easiest win of your career. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Brian says he beat Wayne Withers in the same tournament. Wallace beat Marcio, and Wayne is a guy who's beaten Derek a lot. Yeah, I heard he did beat Wayne Withers on that podcast I saw with him in it. Yeah, the guy must be good. Cire is in it for the long run for sure, says Out of Tune. That's very good to hear. Latrousseau says, my chat was bugging. Hi everyone, what's up Latrousseau? What's up, man? A lot of regulars here. What do you guys think of that top fans leaderboard YouTube has— Spinner is #1 right now. Interesting. Says, Spinner says Cire looks like he has something to prove. Going back to the supernatural chat preview of the match. Well, what is that all about? The supernatural chat preview of the match? I'm saying Spinner is number 1, but seems like 75 experience is like some kind of maximum here for some reason. Jacobin says, really counting on Derek to win. Hope he does not let me down this time. I hope he can pull it off. I really do hope he can pull it off. Yeah. Because Derek is a nice guy. I like Derek. A little corny sometimes. The slap fighting is a little weird, but I like Derek. And yeah. This is a you have to beat this man moment. You have to beat Cire here, Derek. Like, I'm not saying they won't give you any more shots, because probably they will, of course, and you deserve them, but, like, come on, man. You need to, like, convincingly beat Cire. Cire, it's like a win-win situation for him. If he makes Derek work, it looks good. If he doesn't make Derek work, we'll give him, like, people will give him another chance in some months or a year or something. Yeah. But for Derek, he needs to beat Cire, and I see that 62% of you after 5 minutes think Derek Smith will take this match. So yeah, he's a favorite, but not like a huge favorite, it seems. I'll end the poll here. I think that's telling enough, 62%. And let's move on to the next match, which is our 4th match of the night. I don't know if they're actually doing them in this order, but I would imagine so. And this is my personal favorite, I think, of the night. Riekerd Bornman versus Pavlo Derbedieniev. I think a lot of people think this is the closest match, or will be the closest match. Or at least as far as like actual arm wrestlers, experienced arm wrestlers go, this match has a lot of potential. So who do you have? Is it Riekerd? Or do you have Pavlo Derbedieniev, the American powerhouse, in this match? Very curious to see what you guys think here. I've seen a couple of people talk about it online, and I think most people have Pavlo in this match. I've even seen some people call it a mismatch, which might be the case. You know, Riekerd is largely unproven on the international stage, I would say. So yeah, it might be the case. Pavlo is kind of a proven entity, although I'm really happy he's getting more shots at East versus West. Really happy for him. Yeah, I'm curious to see what Riekerd has been up to as far as training. Yeah, I saw him doing some podcasts. I should get people like that on podcasts, right? On live streams or something. I should do more interviews. It would be fun. It just requires a lot of preparation, and it's time I don't always have, unfortunately. But yeah, it seems like he's mainly posting lifts. I don't know how much he still gets on the table. But yeah, really looking forward to this match. I think probably one of the better ones on the card. I see so far 69% of you think Pavlo has this match. Morkish says, I like this upbeat music. That's noted, my man. I'm still kind of curating a good playlist even after all these years. But yeah, I like this song too. Did Engin talk about the situation on his stream, says Jacobin. Engin did address some things on videos, I don't know on his stream, but yeah. Like I said, I've been largely keeping out of the drama, although there could be a potential video in the works on it. If I feel so inclined. Right now I have a lot of like video projects I'm working on for the channel, so yeah, it would eat up a lot of time, but I might just make like a 5 or 10 minute video on the entire situation and my thoughts on it and stuff like that, if people actually want it. It is unfortunate though. The Drew says Riekerd temporarily went full-time arm wrestling training for this match. Interesting. Okay, that's good insight. Thank you for that. That is good insight. Kelvin Jones says, I want to know why people think Pavlo wins. Wallace Dilly lost to Riekerd. Isn't he higher ranked than Pavlo? I have no idea if he's higher ranked than Pavlo or on which rankings that would be. I can tell you in my headcanon, Pavlo is a stronger arm wrestler than Riekerd, but I'd love to be proven wrong. I do have to say, Riekerd's arm on this poster looks fucking massive. Like, really massive. I don't know, the guy is obviously improving a lot. He's looking good. This is a right arm match, right? The Pavlo one? Yeah, I think they're all right arm except for Devon's one match, so. Another thing is, it's like the death of the left arm officially now. Out of Tune says, great for Riekerd to be so young and already pulling at such a huge event with all these huge names around. I agree. Good to see young blood. I don't think it's a mismatch, says Brian, considering Marcio beat Pavlo less than 2 years ago and Wallace Dilly beat Marcio. So yeah, that's the arm wrestling math talking, not always reliable, but it is something to go on there. It seems like 65% of you think Pavlo will have this match, so yeah, I think it has the potential to be a good one. At least a very interesting match as far as like worldwide rankings go, kind of. It's a relevant match, in my opinion. I'm gonna grab a quick drink of water. Give me like 20 seconds here, guys. Or less. Okay, I'm back. That was quick enough, right? Atlantis says he's pretty impressively strong, has a strength mutation of some sort. I think I'm going Riekerd. Interesting. You think he actually has like a strength mutation? Record win, says Jacobin. Seems like most people in chat think Pavlo will win this match. Bowen can't do a single thing at all versus Riekerd, like nothing, says the Drew. Must hurt a little for Bowen, but makes sense to me. I think they are still, even though Bowen is growing quite a lot, I think they are still in quite different weight classes, right? Riekerd is just a bigger man in general. Special gene or something, yeah, maybe. Something invisible to the naked eye, but if we sequence his genes, we might see something really weird. Might be the case. I'll end this poll here. I think Pavlo with 61% is quite a sensible number. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. 61, 39, that makes a lot of sense, yeah. Let's move on to the next match, which is Matt Mask versus Filip Larsen. I really don't know what to think of this match. It's a super heavyweight match. I think Matt probably won't come in super heavy. I can't see Matt coming in at like 130 kilos or something. I don't think that will happen. Filip Larsen, really big guy, tall guy too. Heavy guy. Very strong. Also relatively new to the sport. It's like a reoccurring trend on this card. Either getting two guys that are relatively new versus each other, or getting someone new versus someone really experienced. Seems to be kind of the theme of this card. So yeah, it certainly fits in that way. And I think a lot of people who are kind of following the scene online might give Filip the edge here. I think Matt still has it, probably. But I might be voting with my heart a little too much Because there is a weight discrepancy for sure. And Filip has looked quite impressive on the few outings I've seen him. When I've seen him on the table, it's looking quite good, so yeah. Let's take a look at what Filip's been up to on his social media. See if he's been posting a lot of stuff. Viking Arms here on Instagram. I'll follow him back. He's following me, which I appreciate, Viking Arms. I'll follow you back, of course. So yeah, here he is sparring versus Devon quite a while ago already. Like, yeah, it says 34 weeks ago, so yeah, more than half a year ago. Let's see here. Actually able to do something. I believe he wasn't, but first match of the tournament, I faced a triple champ. Well, okay, it's even a tournament. This guy's world champion for a reason. Great experience, 10 out of 10 would do again. I'm guessing Devon smokes him here. Chuck says, as always, hoping for a wild horse to run him over, but we'll see. I love me some Matt Mask. Really great guy. Really friendly too when talking to him online. Yeah, so Devon is toying with him here. It's on the left. We'll take that into account. Maybe the right would be more one-sided even. But like I said, this was 34 weeks ago. Right now I see he's weighing 169 kilograms. So yeah. Quite big. Quite big. Yeah, seems to be moving okay. Seems to be moving okay on the table. This filter I will never get, honestly. Looks like they're radioactive or something. Pulling in Latvia. Is that Sandris? I can't tell with this filter. I think it is, right? Yeah, it is. Panzer. Okay, I see his sleeve. Yeah, so he beat Sandris on the right. That's good, man. That's good. Yeah, might be tough for Matt. I don't know. Might be tougher than a lot of people think. Let's see, chat right now has Matt as the winner, 62% of you. So not super convincing. Chuck says, how would Filip go against Irakli? Interesting one too. Yeah, I don't know. How would Matt go against Irakli? The Drew says, right, Filip left is much weaker. Interesting, okay. I'm always rooting for Matt. Yep. Oh damn, he's Corey West size. Yeah, I think Filip is Corey West size, but taller. Corey West might be a little heavier though than Filip. I think he is. Filip is I think taller than Corey West. Just has a bigger frame in general. Maybe. I don't know. I think we'll see when. Yeah, looks like a pretty big guy. I think we'll see when more footage comes out of East versus West and athletes arriving and stuff like that. I hope they do a lot of that. Here's him pulling versus Carolina. Yeah, he's Swedish, so it makes sense. Almost losing versus Carolina. Okay, never mind. Matt Mask has this easily. No, but the guy does seem to be really involved with the arm wrestling scene and seems to be going all out for it, so more power to him. I hope he does well, regardless of if he wins or loses in this match. Yeah, I hope he does well. I'm not so convinced Matt is going to win, says Out of Tune. No, neither am I. Yeah, and what did Sandris do to Mask? That's very true, Drew. It's been a while now, but not that long ago. Very true. Spinner says, I guess depends on Matt's frame of mind. Yeah, seems to be the case, right, with Matt Mask. He's one of those athletes that's very up and down, or at least that's kind of the perspective you have from the outside looking in. Might be completely different in Matt Mask's mind, what's actually going on there, but from like the outside looking in, it seems like Matt is very up and down in his matches. It might have a lot to do with mindset, might be. I'm rooting for him personally. I really like Filip too. Like I said, regardless of if he wins or loses, I hope he does well in this match and proves that he belongs on that stage. We'll see a lot more of him. But yeah, I can't root against Matt Mask. He's like one of my all-time favorite pullers, and I think that goes for a lot of people. Regardless of that though, 56% of you think Matt Mask will win, so only a very small minority, or I would say a big minority, like almost half of you think Filip will take this match. So yeah, might be closer than I gave it credit for. Interesting match. A little weird with the weight classes, but interesting match. Nonetheless, let's move on to our next one. Todd Hutchings versus Dave Chafee. Another one of these, like, kind of, you would initially think mismatches, you know what I mean? That at least was my initial perspective on it. Todd or Dave, who do you have? Todd Hutchings or Dave Chafee? Like I said, initially I thought, serious mismatch here, what are they doing? Like, Dave is a clear super heavyweight and has been for a while, but then, you know, Dave's giving this talk about moving down in weight, moving to the 115, stuff like that. So really interesting that they're actually doing it in the 115 class, because Todd usually pulls at what, like 98, something like that, or 100 or something. I would be surprised if he gets anywhere near 115. I would expect Dave to be like on the dot 115, and then even maybe bulking up a little again after the weigh-ins. I don't know how soon the weigh-ins are, but yeah, a little bit of a strange match if you're asking me, but I don't mind it. Like, in and of itself, I like both these pullers, and there is some potential for it turning into a real match. So on paper, I think Chafee should pretty handily take this. Personally, I think Chafee should be taking this match. Out of Tune says that's what people around Matt say as well. If his life is on track, then he's on fire. When things don't go well, it affects his abilities. Yeah, it only makes sense, right? Athletes are humans too. Dave is like 3 weight classes above, says Chuck. Yeah, it does feel that way, doesn't it? Like I said, Dave is dropping down. He has been saying he wants to pull in the 115s, if I'm not mistaken. But that's still like 1 or 2 weight classes above where Todd usually pulls, right? So I don't know about this one. Is this one of those matches that they threw on there just because both athletes were available? I don't know. What do you guys think? Dave is walking around not too far from 115 kilograms though, yeah. I'm not saying Dave is like some huge, super heavy monster, but like classically when I think of Dave Chafee, I always think of him competing in the super heavyweight class. Just because of his frame. Yeah, and he did pack more weight at some points during his career, that's certainly true. Chuck says it is a mismatch. Todd is amazing, but he is still a human. It's funny because Todd Hutchings always said, and I've heard him say this from before the WAL times. He said this in WAL too, but I've seen interviews with him before then, and he's always talking about how weight classes don't matter to him. Same thing with the buckle. The buckle doesn't matter to him. Weight classes don't matter to him. He says it's not really that impactful in arm wrestling, which is like a totally out of pocket statement, right? Like out of left field statement. Like, weight classes don't matter in arm wrestling, coming from one of the most elite pullers on the planet is a crazy statement to make. Dave has always been the better side pusher versus Godzilla in the past, at least. Yep, that's true. That's true. They've also trained together quite a bit, so they probably know each other's game inside out. I think Dave has the winning record on Todd quite convincingly in their previous outings. It's more about amateur arm wrestling, says Chuck. Like, this is more of an amateur, like, arm wrestling. I've got the feeling, Chuck, maybe you don't like the card in general. Might be wrong. KL says, yeah, let Todd wrestle Levon. I'm sure he'd relish the opportunity to actually try. Don't think he would be able to do much, of course. La Trousseau says, I'm rooting for the Uncle Todd surprise. He'll turn it around round 3. Who knows, man? Who knows? If it turns into a good match, I'll be really happy. I hope it will. I don't think we need to look at, like, these guys training, because we pretty much know they're known entities, right? They faced each other before. We know the people they faced. Not a lot of the same people in the last years. So yeah. I don't know. I don't think... Honestly, I don't think Todd Hutchings has much of a chance in this match, but I'll be happy if I'm proven wrong and it's actually a good match. Seems like most people in chat actually have Todd Hutchings as the favorite here, so very surprising to me. But yeah, it just goes to show. People think Todd Hutchings is the man, clearly. Spinner says, Hart says Uncle Todd, but Head says Dave. Both have history, and that history is one-sided in Dave's favor. Yeah, there you go. I think that's a pretty good summary on potentially why Todd Hutchings is getting so many votes. Uncle Todd says Dave is more versatile. Interesting. Interesting. The Drew says, who has less variation in their pulling style, Godzilla or Dave? I think Dave's slightly more versatile just because he can actually press. Yeah, he said he kind of surprised himself with that press, right? I think both probably are pretty well versed at a lot of techniques. I think Todd Hutchings can top roll. We've seen him do it very rarely. He is capable of that, I'm sure. When he pulls some guys on the table, some local guys or guys that aren't at his level, he sometimes does that for fun, I'm sure. So I think both are pretty capable pullers. You can't spend as many decades as these guys have spent in the sport and not be at least capable pullers in nearly any style. That's my opinion. But I think we can call the poll here and move on to the next match. I'm gonna have to hurry up because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Neil is going live with the fix tonight, right? So let me quickly go to the next match here, which is Eddie Hall versus Robert Oberst. You guys will have to school me a little bit on this one, because I'm not quite up on how these guys have been doing within the arm wrestling world so far. I know, of course, Eddie's last match, and I know he's been dabbling a lot, but like Robert, I have very little idea on. Is he actually good? Chuck says, for me, pro athletes, part of the matches feel forced and not ranking related. Eddie Hall all the way. We saw amazing performance by Eddie. I think a lot of people have the same, like a lot of people who are deep into the sport, have the same feeling about the card in general. It's not super important for rankings, but there might be some interesting surprises there nonetheless, I think. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to seeing Eddie. He was so much fun versus Brian. That's certainly true. I think I think this card does have potential in just for the simple fact of there being different kinds of personalities compared to the usual East versus West matches. So I think in that regard, this does have potential of being a really entertaining card, at least. Might not be super important for the rankings, but I think it does have quite a bit of potential for being super entertaining. So you're still hoping that'll come true. Justin B, how you doing? Says obviously the matches are weak. The East has sabotaged the league. You could say that. I could see that perspective. A lot of that going around. Spinner says this pay-per-view gives an opportunity for new heroes to rise or cement their place. Yeah, for sure. I always like seeing new people come into the sport, and I don't think getting athletes from different disciplines involved into arm wrestling can ever be a bad thing, really. It's a little weird when it's done in a ham-fisted way, you know what I mean? Like the Alex Kurdecha versus that slap fighter. If it's done in that kind of way, I don't really see a lot of benefit in it, to be quite honest. Yeah. I don't think you're gonna convince a lot of people in that way, but in general, I'm really happy about these crossovers. Rick H says Robert may be wearing a dress after. Is that like their bet or something? Hall and Oberst have a long history together. They have this UK versus USA rivalry going on. Oberst always genuinely hated losing to Hall. Okay, I hope they give us a good match. That's all I can say. I hope it doesn't turn into a foul fest, if you know what I mean. If the rules are pretty strict and the reffing is pretty strict, then I can see this turning into two new guys on the table making a lot of fouls, and I hope that won't be the case. I hope this match won't be decided in that way, because obviously both of these guys are really strong, but their arm wrestling experience is pretty limited. So yeah, there's always the potential of it turning into something like that. Hey, see you later, Chuck. Going to be an explosive match. I hope you sleep well, man. Yeah. I hope it will be in a good way, in a controlled way. Spinner says Oberst keeps his training off social media, but he's training with good people. Gonna go for Eddie with entertainment being the winner. The loser wears a dress. Okay, something to look forward to, I guess. Seeing one of these strongmen cross-dress. I'll end the poll here with Eddie Hall comfortably winning this according to 80% of you. So yeah, there you go. Seems most people have Eddie. I'm guessing it's because there's more info out there on Eddie. I think that makes sense, right? Let's move on to what is not the main event. I think, how long has it been since a Devon match was not the main event? Maybe he was on the same card as John Brzezinski or something. Yeah, maybe something like that happened, but I think it's been quite a while since a Devon match wasn't the main event. So who do you guys have here? We'll go for the left one first, just because, kind of to get it out of the way, because it already happened. So yeah, I get why they're doing a repeat. For those who don't know, there were some reffing issues the last time these two met on the table left-handed, which wasn't that long ago. But yeah, they're redoing it because of those reffing issues, which, yep, makes sense to me, kind of. Not really looking forward to seeing that match again, but makes sense. Was a bet, says Spinner. That's a fun bet. I don't mind bets like that. Tune says, I think they are still talking about who is going to be the main event. Devon wasn't sure yet, he said a couple of days ago. Interesting, okay. The Drew says, you see how Eddie Hall did on Arm Wars Iron House? He was training too, and Neil was very proud. Yes, I did see that, Drew. Like I said before, all I can hope for is that these strongmen are having fun, and they genuinely commit to the sport in some way. That's all we can really ask for, right? I hope they're coming from a genuine position of interest in the sport, and they're not just looking at it from like, okay, this is a nice little cash grab I can do, and some new fans, some new arm wrestling fans I can pull over to my house here, and then just bail on the sport. As long as it's not that, I'm all good with it. Spinner says, which one goes first in Devon versus Kardeccia, left or right? I've heard talk about the left-handed match being first, which would make sense from like a marketing kind of perspective. But yeah, I don't know. If I were them, I would do the right-handed match first, just to be more fresh for the quote-unquote more important arm. But yeah, at the end of the day, they're both one match down when they're facing each other the second time, so should be relatively fair in that regard. I don't know, maybe there might even be some pseudo laying down during the left-handed match just to preserve some energy at a certain point. Might see stuff like that. Might play into it a little. Devon isn't going to play around now since he knows he could gas the fuck out if he's not careful. Yeah, might be. He might just want to end it really quickly. Ethan, how you doing? Says the right-hand match will probably be the main event. That's what would make most sense to me. From selling to dedicated arm wrestling fans, selling the pay-per-view to them. That would make a lot of sense. Now you could look at it from the perspective of maybe you want to get as many strongman fans involved as possible. And from that perspective, you might be good putting the Bryan match as the main event. But yeah, probably I would expect Devon's right-hand match to be the main event. 27 athletes signed a letter petition to get Devon as the main event of East vs West 19. Interesting, okay. That was the whole petition thing. Yeah, we'll end the poll here for the left-handed match with 64% of you thinking Devon will take this. It was a close match, so I do get why 64% of you think Devon will take it, and quite a few of you think Alex will take it because, let's face it, the match was very close last time. Who do you have on the right this time? The right arm, we're asking this time, do you have Devon or is it Alex? Let me know in the poll. It's open now. Let's be honest, we all know which match we wanted this to be. I think Alex included wanted this to be a Devon Vitali match. That's what it was originally set up as, but as most of you probably know, that match fell through. Didn't happen. Some people say it's because of visa issues, some people say it's because one person is dodging the other person. All kinds of things going around on why this match didn't happen and won't happen anytime soon, in my opinion. But yeah, that's why we ended up here with Alex Kardeccia facing Devon for the second time in, what is it, 3 months or less? But you know, it's not a bad match, you know what I mean? It's still a worthy match, I think, between two super heavyweights who are both in the top 10, I would argue. Devon probably top 3 or something, more likely, but both of them are in the top 10. So it's a match I don't mind really on paper, but yeah, they kind of hyped us up with what is, in my opinion, a more exciting match. A match that the community has been waiting on for forever. What seems like forever now. Hey, TOS Move, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Welcome in. Out of Tune says Alex will know what to do this time. Yeah, might be. But he will lose on the right. I think most people think that way. I see Devon has 100% of the votes right now in chat. Although only 5 people voted, so take that with a grain of salt. If you can, quickly get your vote in. The more people vote, the more representative it is of what the community really thinks. So yeah, the better it is to take a look at it. So get your vote in if you haven't already. It only takes a second. Go on to the chat and tap who you think will take the match on the right hand. Currently, Devon has all the votes. So I think people kind of think this is a mismatch, right? Correct me if I'm wrong there. Personally, I'd have to agree. I think Devon probably too strong for Alex right now on the right. Although, you know, it's one of those opportunities where if Alex somehow manages to get a pin on Devon, make it tricky for Devon, or even, you know, on the outside chance he would win the match, it's like a major opportunity for Alex, right? Because all of a sudden, if something like that happens, Alex is like in talks for a lot of other matches, right? A lot of other matches get a lot more interesting if Alex somehow even gets one pin on Devon on the right. I think that opens up the door for a lot of other potential matches. So yeah, a big opportunity for Alex here. Nice of Devon, I guess, for redoing the left-handed match, although might not be for completely selfish reasons there. Spinner says pretty impressed with Kurdecha for taking this when others didn't. Yep, he stepped up. Alex is a giga chat. Vitali is hiding, says McFarvo. How you doing, McFarvo? I think a lot of people share that opinion. I don't necessarily. I don't know anything about visa applications and all that. I could imagine the process not being super easy coming from Russia right now to the US. I could imagine it not being super easy for something like this. That being said, it's a match that should have happened a long time ago. Like, at this point, I'm so over who's dodging who or what the reason it didn't happen yet. All I know is this match should have happened a long time ago. Lalatin versus Laurence. There's no reason why it hasn't happened already. There can be a reason after all these years why this match hasn't happened already. That isn't just a stupid reason, in my opinion. I can't think of one. I really can't. I think the winners get hammers, right? Yes, indeed. Let's see. I think it should be on the East versus West Instagram, right? I think I saw it not too long ago. Brian Shaw kind of showing off the hammers, or it might be on his personal Instagram. That might be the case. Let me take a look at Brian's page. See if we can pull up a picture of the coveted hammers of the event. Because yeah, he did go for hammers, I believe. Which, you know, some people interpret it as a dig at Engin. There was the whole Legacy Hammer debacle, which I don't think Engin was super fond of that idea. Can't really find it anymore, but it is out there somewhere, and they are hammers. They looked okay. I think they looked fine. Everybody's always been treated very well at the Shaw Classics, is out of tune. Interesting. The other day, Brian was prepping the goodie bags for the athletes. Nice, they get a sports bag with all kinds of things. Guy cares for the athlete. Yeah, it's always good to see. I'm glad they're getting the recognition they deserve in some ways. I wish, like, honestly, I wish it was a more international event. Because I do miss a couple of matchups that I would have liked to see, but yeah. Can't have everything, I suppose. The Drew says Vitali offered 10 years visa, that's worth it alone. So he chose not to, that's all. I don't know, the Drew. I think it's always, you're going off of some stories that might not be, I'm not saying true, I'm not saying they're lies, but they might not entail the entire story, right? There might be other reasons, even if, suppose it was as easy as some people from North America say it was, which might be the case. Suppose it was that easy. There might be a lot of other reasons you can think of why an athlete wouldn't want to travel out of Russia right now to North America. You know what I mean? It might not just be as straightforward as just a visa thing. That being said, like at this point, I think all excuses are off. You had a decade to get this match set up some way. Should have happened a long time ago. Othar, how you doing? Says Engin and Brian would make an amazing team. Now there's a team, like a dream team I haven't heard of before. That's an interesting perspective. They might, I don't know. I'll end this poll. 100% of you think Devon will win on the right. Makes a lot of sense to me. Let's move on to the main event finally. Which is, well, the main event. I'm saying this because it's the last match on here, but main event might be Devon. But let's move on to Brandon Allen versus Brian Shaw. Who do you have here? Brandon Allen, of course, no stranger to arm wrestling. Competent puller, really strong puller, has a good strength background too. The match kind of makes sense to me in a way. I think on paper you'd have to give the edge to Brandon Allen. Now, unless Brian Shaw has made some serious improvements in the last half year or something, or the last couple of months that I'm not aware of, I think Brandon Allen should be the favorite here. That being said, don't think it's a terrible match necessarily. I hope Brian Shaw doesn't go the way of Larry Wheels and just gets out arm wrestled straight away. Out of Tune says, Arm Historian, question for you. Has your opinion changed regarding certain athletes? Do you see some of them in a different way now? I know I do about some. I'm pretty disappointed with Vitaly. Shaw all the way. Yeah, I do, of course. My perspective has changed drastically on a lot of athletes throughout the years. Especially since I've been creating content on a lot of them and I've been looking into their lives. Some of them to a quite personal level, in a way. So yeah, my perspective certainly has changed. With context always comes new perspective, so I think it only makes sense knowing how some of these guys became who they are right now, and maybe having a little more context to why they act the way they do in some certain cases helps a lot. But yeah, for sure, it only makes sense. Certainly from a fan's perspective, the more you learn about guys, the more your opinion will change on them. Any news on the Georgia versus the World, the spinner? Yeah, they have been adding quite a bit of matches and they do look like interesting matches, but it's kind of suffering from the same thing this card is suffering from, which is quite a one-sided pool of athletes. Not a lot of quote-unquote diversity from where they're coming from all over the world. I think we've been spoiled to a certain degree, or there's been a new standard for international matches in the last years in a post-COVID kind of world. But I do think that we should strive to let that standard be, right? We shouldn't strive to take a step back in that way. We should strive to keep that the new standard going forward. And I think to a lot of people, I'm not saying it's necessarily the case because there are, of course, international matches here, but to a lot of people that are really entrenched into the arm wrestling world, I think they look at a card like this and think it is a step back. I don't personally see it that way. It's not that black and white to me, but I do think a lot of people have that as like their first visceral reaction. A lot of people who are really hardcore fans might look at this card and think this is like, you know, a serious step back in the sport. Yeah, I understand about context. You know a lot more about them personally than we do. This, yeah, to a degree. Like I say personally, I look into their lives, what's out there online, and I dig deep, so I know quite a bit. But like, most of them I have no personal relationship with whatsoever. So don't get me wrong on that front. I have a friendly working relationship with a lot of the people I've covered in my videos. We get along well and we talk sometimes online, but there's no like deep personal connection with any elite athlete. So yeah, don't get me twisted on that one. Justin B says, I think Allen wins. I think so too, man. I think so too. I see 70% of people in chat think Brian Shaw will win this match, which quite surprising to me. Yeah, quite surprising to me. Like, I would think Brandon Allen is a heavy favorite in this match. I think I have like a sizzle reel that East vs West made for them, although I'm not sure. They might have not made one on this match for some reason. They must have, surely. It's their main event. This one is Devon Alex. I don't see one. So maybe they haven't for some reason. Maybe because there just isn't that much footage of Brian pulling out there. Very interesting, yeah. No sizzle reel for this match. When power grips power. Shaw Strength and Brandon Allen Filthy Power are bringing brute force to the table at East vs West. X the Shaw Classic stage. Okay, that's a little confusing wording it that way, but yeah. Because there was an East vs West X, like East vs West 10 was presented as East vs West X, but yeah. I get what they're going for. 4 times world's strongest man, broken over 25 world records. I mean, that should tell you Shaw is a committed guy. Can bet he brings the same commitment and attitude with arm wrestling, and that is why Shaw will win. Yeah, it might be the case. I think a lot of people think of it that way, like Shaw is a true athlete, and I do agree there. It's just experience means so much in arm wrestling. It is a strength sport in a way. Strength certainly matters, but just like in powerlifting, technique matters a lot. The same is true for arm wrestling. You could be as strong as you want, but if you can't get to your lane, you're still going to get beaten. And yeah, just for a guy who's that new to arm wrestling, trying to beat an experienced open top roller like Brandon Allen, who has like a pretty good arsenal of technique, yeah, that's a tall order. So I'd love to see it. Obviously, Brian is heavier, although I've heard that Brandon Allen is coming in very heavy compared to his normal walking around weight. But yeah, I'm having a hard time seeing it, man. Like Brian Shaw winning, I'm having a hard time seeing it. I hope he does well. Regardless, I've said this multiple times on this card, because I think there's a couple of mismatches on here. I hope he does well. Like, I hope it's not one-sided. I hope he enjoys the match more than anything. Yeah. He's been pretty good before in his previous outing, so yep, I hope he does well. I hope the match delivers. And just to like kind of cap this prediction live stream off, I'm rooting for this event to succeed. I know there's been a lot of discourse, there's been a lot of talk back and forth about turmoil in the arm wrestling world, a split between East versus West. All I can say is I hope this event does well and we can just continue to move forward. Because I think a lot of people, like I said, think this is a step back. And I'm not trying to look at it that way. I'm trying to look at it as this is an experiment. I'm looking forward to some matches here. I'm looking forward most to seeing how production will change, how it will differ from the normal East versus West events, and what we can learn as a community from this event. As long as we can keep moving forward after this, I'm all good with it. I love that Brian is taking an interest in the sport and that he's bringing all of his merry strongman friends with him. Can just serve to make us stronger as a community at the end of the day. So yeah, I am rooting in a big way for this event to succeed. I will be supporting it personally. I understand if you don't. I'll also be supporting other events going forward. I think events like previously mentioned Georgia versus the world and stuff are great initiatives. And yeah, I've always been a supporter of more choice for the consumer is always a good thing when it comes to arm wrestling leagues and growing the sport. More competition between leagues can only serve to make every single one of those leagues better at the end of the day, and that includes East versus West. So if I can make one wish for the arm wrestling world going forward, is for promoters to realize that and just fully embrace different leagues work together as much as possible, because at the end of the day, we're way too small to be squabbling like little kids the way we're doing right now. So yeah, I think that about caps it up. That kind of encapsulates my feelings on this entire event. I hope you enjoyed the live stream as much as I've enjoyed talking with you guys about the predictions and getting kind of an insight on your predictions. I see Brian Shaw still came out of this poll as a favorite with 62% of you thinking Brian has this in the bag. We'll of course see if he truly does have this in the bag in about, let's see how long the event is still away from us. 5 days, 9 hours and 48 minutes. That's when D-Day will be happening. That's when we'll see what's going to happen next. So until then, I might go live then during the event, but no promises. I hope you guys keep healthy. I hope you guys enjoy the event if you're going to watch it. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Join me next time, same place, same time as always. And until then, Arm Historian, out of here. Bye-bye.